The water reeks of death, and it's not even dawn yet. You've been working in the dark for an hour, fingers numb, back screaming. You need to catch them before the heat comes, before they burrow deeper into the rocks where you can't reach. Each murex snail is smaller than your thumb. Each contains one gland the size of a rice grain, and that gland holds the color that separates emperors from every other human alive. Your spine feels ancient, though you're not old. This is your inheritance. Your father did this, his father's father, back when Tyre was the center of the trade and the Phoenicians guarded the secret like fire from the gods. Except now it's not a secret. It's just misery refined into a monopoly. The murex doesn't know it's valuable. It sits in the shallows, elegant spined shell catching the current, digesting algae, living its simple life, until your fingers close around it. You've learned to spot them by shadow, by the way they cluster where the water runs strong. Reach, grab, twist, drop. Reach, grab, twist, drop. The rhythm is all that keeps you from thinking about the actual number you need. Because here's what nobody tells you about imperial purple: the ratio is violence. 12,000 snails for 1.5 grams of dye, enough to trim a single imperial robe. By mid-morning, your boat is half full. 3,000, maybe more. You've stopped counting. Your hands move automatically now. The sun climbs and you're not even close to done. Back on shore, the real work begins. The work that made your village unforgettable to every traveler who's ever passed through, and not in a good way. You crack each shell without destroying the gland inside. Too much force, and you've wasted a life for nothing. The pile grows, broken shells, exposed bodies, and there, that tiny translucent pearl of mucus. This is the moment that haunts your dreams, because the gland comes out white, pale, clear, worthless looking. You crush 10,000 into a vat, and the liquid is still nothing. Clear as water. You add salt water and urine. Yes, urine. Because the ammonia does something to the chemistry no one understands, but everyone knows works. You stir, you wait, and then you carry the vat outside into the sunlight. This part still feels like magic after years of this work. The liquid turns yellow, then green, then blue, and finally, slowly, like blood rising through water, it blooms into purple. Not berry purple, not flower purple. This purple has weight, depth. It doesn't sit on fabric. It sinks in, becomes part of the thread, permanent as a scar. The Romans called it purpura. The Byzantines call it the color of Christ's suffering and imperial power in the same breath. You call it the smell that never leaves. The stench is unbelievable. Rotting shellfish times 10,000, fermented in sun, mixed with human waste. It gets into your hair, your skin, the lining of your lungs. People smell you from streets away. Children hold their nose. Even dogs avoid you. There are laws about where dye works can be built. Always downwind, always outside city walls, always far enough that the rich don't have to know what their luxury costs. But here's the strange mathematics of this trade. You're not poor. You reek. You're excluded from polite society. Your body is falling apart, and you own a house with a tile roof. Your daughter has a dowry that could buy a farm, because the emperor needs you. The law says only imperial workshops can produce true purple. Only robes blessed by the patriarch can be dyed this color. To wear it without permission is treason. To sell it to foreigners is death, and every single gram passes through hands like yours. You think about this as you strain the liquid through cloth, collecting the concentrated dye in amphorae marked with the imperial seal. Somewhere in Constantinople, a silk weaver will receive this. They'll paint it onto thread so fine you can barely see it. That thread becomes a robe worth more than everything you'll earn in your entire life. An emperor will wear it once, maybe twice. And tomorrow you'll go back into the water and start again. The sun sets. Your boat is clean, tools stored. You walk home through streets where people step aside as you pass. Not from respect, never respect. But your children will eat tonight, and they'll eat well. Your son might learn a trade that doesn't destroy the body. You're making sure of that. One more generation of the smell, and your family is done. You pass the church and pause. There's a new mosaic inside, paid for by the Dye Workers Guild. Christ in majesty, robed in purple so deep the tiles look like they're bleeding. The same purple you spent today creating from death and rot and chemistry you don't understand. The priest says the color represents the divine. You think it represents something else entirely. The distance between what things look like and what they cost. The space between beauty and the hands that make it possible. The gap between purple robes in palaces and purple stains under your fingernails. By the time you reach home, your wife has water heating. She doesn't ask about your day. She's known since she married into this trade. She just takes your clothes, which will never be fully clean, and brings you soap that doesn't quite work. You scrub. The purple stays under your fingernails like a stain on your soul. Tomorrow you'll do this again. And the day after. And the day after that, until your back gives out, or your lungs fill with fumes, or you slip on the rocks, and the sea takes you like it's taken so many others. This is what empire looks like from the bottom. This is the true color of power. Not the finished purple in the palace, but the grey exhaustion of the people who bleed it from the sea, one dead snail at a time. The ones who smell like death and live like minor nobility. The ones who make the impossible possible while polite society holds its nose. Your daughter asks what you did today. You tell her you made something beautiful. It's not a lie, it's just not the whole truth. The whole truth smells too bad for the dinner table.